Something put the deathly fear into a little skunk on the first day of the year, and it literally stunk. This is a really great rhyme for, I guess, January 13th, the day that we would be finished with our affirmations, because this actually happened, and I couldn't have been more proud of the people I was with. So I'm going to tell you the story. I'll try to make it brief. We were staying in a lake house, much actually like the one I'm staying in now, furnished, just there for temporary housing. It was we were over vacation. It was over New Year's Eve, and my mother and aunt were there. It was just my family, kids, husband, mother, and aunt. And they had just arrived not too long ago, and we are sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden we get this like smell. And when you are at ground zero of a skunk spray, it does not smell like skunk. It does not even smell a little bit like weed, which I had been totally cool with. No, it is like melted rubber and burning electrical wires and toxic, like, are we gonna die breathing this in kind of smell. And somehow it seems as though it was in the vents of the house. So when the heat kicked on is when we started smelling it, and it just kind of like then started permeating this lake house. And we're like hunting around looking for something burning, something that has caught fire. You know, we're like, what in the world? In the meantime, we're calling the maintenance people that are in charge of this house. Come to find out it was a skunk. They moved us to another location, and all is well that ends well. Now, the reason I like this for the day right after we do these affirmations, like in a perfect world, everyone can keep their cool. Everyone can be chill and positive and give compliments, give gifts. A perfect world is like Christmas Day. This was actually New Year's Day, right? It was the first day of the year, and we were joking the entire time about, wow, first day of the year kind of stinks, right? Ha ha. But that was literally the most negative thing we said, and we were saying it as a joke because so many people say, you know, oh, this stinks. It doesn't literally smell bad. And so, as you know, when I think about this poem and when that happened, what I'm most grateful for is that we didn't blame one another for something, or even like the management for something a skunk did, okay? We didn't blame a skunk for acting the way a skunk acts. I mean, it's instinctual. And we remembered that we, humans, although we are animals and mammals, we really don't need the instinctual brain as often, or as much as I think we actually do use it. But we really don't need it that much. If you're going hiking and you do come face to face with like a mountain lion or a bear, yeah, instincts are great. But in the instance that you get sprayed by a skunk, perhaps thousands, hundreds of thousands of years ago, maybe that would have like triggered something that was necessary for us to change in our situation. Not anymore. Now you get sprayed by a skunk, not sprayed by a skunk. Hopefully you never get sprayed by a skunk, but you're in the vicinity of a skunk that has sprayed, and there's no necessary like reason to, I don't know, throw your hands up or get defensive. So I was very proud of the situation because we all just kind of packed up our things, went to another place while they kind of cleaned up and tried to deodorize the place, which ended up not working. And so we ended up actually leaving the lake house early, which turned out in our benefit. I have a poem I'll be sharing down the road that's about when you don't capture the pearl, you have to just have faith that something better awaits. We were actually probably going to have to leave early anyway due to our personal schedules. And the way it happened with the skunk spray is that they comped us the night. So we actually got to come back on for free a different time when our schedules actually kind of allowed for it better. So, that's like the flip of the coin, and wow, we landed on the lucky side. That was cool. And so I always look to that memory with fondness. I mean, you wouldn't think it, right? You got skunked out of a house on the first day of the year. But I look back to it on fondness with fondness. What am I trying to say? I look back to it with fondness because it wasn't an upsetting moment. And yes, there were some negatives, of course. We know a lot of our clothes had to be washed and re-washed. I found out vinegar is great for rinsing out the skunk smell. There are some boots that my husband still owns that he refuses to wear unless it's going to be like just outside or just doing work. They're pretty much trashed boots. And the moment he gets some really good ones, he'll probably replace those. But so they're negatives. But the point is, why focus on them? So this literally stunk is just a nice little. It's kind of like a little shout out to Bulldog on the show Frasier, because I don't know if you ever watched the show, but he would get if he misplaced something, he would just go right into like lizard brain, right? Instinctual. He would start getting fighting mad, and he'd say things like, "This stinks. This is total BS." Okay, it didn't actually literally smell bad, and there was no BS to be found anywhere. No bullshit laying around, except for his own. And so it's kind of funny because I wanted to say it literally stunk, meaning it was smelly. But that was the only negative thing about it. Everything else was totally on the up and up. So I'll be back tomorrow. Happy Monday, everybody. Let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the Clifford-colored lion in the room. No, I did not hijack a daycare. Although in a way I sort of hijacked a nursery. The house that we are currently or temporarily renting while we find permanent residence has this office that has this amazing mural on the wall. I'm guessing it used to be a nursery of some sort. And it's got, behind the couch, you can't see it, but it's got this little adorable little ocean, and there's fishies and everything. So anyway, that's what you're seeing behind me.